Greetings, agents. Today I've got a build for you that will get you up to 95% amplified damage. I think you'll especially like this build. It's a very easy build to make, and you have a few options on one of the talents, so it'll be completely up to you. So looking at the build, this build is a rifle build using the aces with Overdog gloves. For our weapon, we're using the Urban MDR, primarily because of the higher RPM and a little bit higher damage with phenomenal optimal range. However, you do not have to use this exact rifle. You can use any other rifle you want. You are going to run into a slight problem with the handling. So with that being said, our talent is Flatline with Pulse to Enemy giving us 15% amplified damage. We are going to do a scope of 15%. We are going to use two stability mods. One of them is going to lower our optimal range by 10%, but that's not bad. And the Link laser pointer, because we are using the technician build for this in order to get the pulse for our flatline. The 4-piece bonus we're going to be using here is the Aces of 8. This is pretty simple. As you're flipping over cards, your next few shots are going to be 30% amplified damage. Depending on how good of a card you flip over. So 4 of a kind, of course, gives you 4 shots. So that's 30% amplified damage with 4 shots. So for the next 4 bullets, yay! But we're also going to be using the chest piece here. The chest piece will change that bonus from 30 to 50% amplified damage. So you add that 50% amplified damage with the 15% from flatline, and now we have 65% amplified damage. Looking at the holster and the knee pads, as you can see, nothing too special here. But we are going to put on the Overdog gloves. Overdog gloves will give us up to 30% and more additional amplified damage. If you add all that together, that is 95% amplified damage. However, this is tiered, so that is 10, 20, 30. So you'll go from anywhere from 75 to 95% amplified damage. As for our backpack, I did choose a Seska backpack primarily for the crit chance. However, you can use a Grupo or whatever you want, depending on how you want to stack your attributes and mods. For the talent, I did go with Vigilance. You don't have to go with Vigilance. You can do something like Bloodsucker, so every time you kill something, you get bonus armor. You could go any type of talent you want on the backpack. I wanted the additional damage. For the weapon, great. Our secondary weapon, I just choose my Lexington that had flatline on it just because. Now, it is an assault rifle, so it will not get the bonuses from the aces. However, it will get the bonus from the gloves. So that will be roughly 45% amplified damage. 25 to 45%. So not really going to complain too much about that. It's more of a backup weapon. As for your sidearm, you can use whenever you want. I am just kind of rocking the quick step for primary to move fast if I want to run quickly. As for our skills, you could use any skills you want. I like the shield. I do like the fixer drone, so I am rocking that. We are not using any modifiers. So the video you saw does not have any modifiers. If you do use modifiers, your damage will be a lot higher. Our stats are 53% crit chance. We want to try to stay over 50%. Anywhere from 49 to 53 is a good comfortable number. And then we want to stack as much crit damage as possible. In this particular case, we are doing 134% crit damage with 110% headshot damage. So looking back at this build, this is a pretty solid build, very easy to use. It kind of makes you stuck on assault rifles. When you do put in modifiers, you probably will see hits ranging all the way up to 3 million a hit. I have successfully seen that. But for the most part, you are going to get a solid, stable 1 million hit to start off with, and it will start to scale up as things go on and as you're building up amp damage for the various targets. With that being said, agents, happy hunting.